everybody, welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name is Tanya and I'm here to tell you that I am not bored with luxury. Not at all. I love it. Always have, always will. Can't always buy it, but doesn't mean that I'm bored by it. So today's video is going to be like a little bit of a commentary, a little bit of a response to Winnie B's original video, and I'll have it linked in my description box above. Below. Words. And she was saying in her video how she's feeling bored with luxury, in the sense that there's just a lot of repetition. It's the same old to some extent. She's finding that she doesn't have as much joy in purchasing a piece, unboxing it, and then finding that that joy doesn't last so long. She was saying how that there didn't seem to be so much interesting design coming through, that a lot of it was just a rehash or relying on the classics and then just sort of reintroducing or reinventing them a little bit. But I mean, that's just fashion. That's the way it's been for I don't know how long. And I was listening to her video and I commented on her video and I can't remember what I said. I think I said I just like what I like, you know, and it doesn't have to be luxury, it doesn't have to be high-end. I love just as much a cheap and cheerful, happy, you know, little pouchy thing from somewhere else. And I also love all my high-end pieces. And I then went on to watch a couple of other people's videos who also did a response. And as I speak now, I have watched Jam's video in her response, and then I think she did an unboxing as well. And then just this morning I watched Dawn's video about it, and she was saying how she was pretty bored too. And I started thinking, and I thought to myself, like, what is it about luxury that is boring people, that is boring maybe the luxury YouTube community? Because as you know, there are now so many luxury YouTubers who are no longer in that luxury YouTube niche. And that's perfectly fine, because everyone evolves. I mean, we've all changed and we all have had a variety of life experiences, and we've all learned to deal with the, you know, what do they call it? The peaks and troughs of life, and what life throws at you at any given time, whether you expect it or not. So it's natural that people are going to evolve, their channels are going to change. People have gone from being a luxury channel to an everyday vlogging channel, to a mix of luxury and vlogging, to, you know, something entirely different, to decluttering videos and so on, for example, to, you know, being an anti-luxury channel, to trying to explore and understand the psychology of luxury and why do we love it, and, you know, that sort of addictive nature of being on YouTube and wanting to buy things all the time and therefore do unboxings. And look, I understand that feeling, because I did lean on that for a little while, a few years ago, but now my buying is not purely for my channel, because I've always been a slow grower, always will be, and that's perfectly fine. And then, you know, you've got people who've moved on to doing commentary type channels, and then moving on to do more lifestyle type channels and so on. Evolution is normal. Evolution is a given, just like there's evolution in fashion, whether it's luxury or non-luxury. So I'm not bored by luxury. I actually still love it. And I think one of the reasons why I love luxury is because I find that that's one area where designers, or just call them people, are able to push the mark a little bit. You know, they're sort of like able to toe the line or overstep the line a little bit. Look at Chanel in the last year or so. You know, what's his name? Blasi has, you know, reintroduced the classic flap, but he's warped it, he's distorted it. And just recently Dale unboxed it on her new channel, Undone by Dale. And now that's not a piece that I like, but I was fascinated watching it. Just like I was fascinated watching a lot of those runway shows and all these wonderful, interesting pieces being shown. There's a lot of controversy, right, within luxury. And we know the brands that have hit that controversy road, so to speak, and they seem to bounce back after a period of time. Now, that also depends on how much we as consumers forgive them. Understandable, completely agree with that. But the thing about fashion is that when you're known as a luxury brand, it almost gives you a little bit more license to do just that little bit more, to just go just above and beyond that little bit more. And when you are backed by huge conglomerate, or a very, very well-established design house and design name, then of course you can afford to do that. A small niche brand probably couldn't do that, or if they did, they would have to put the patents in place to protect their designs, because we all know how fashion works. It works both ways in the same capacity, let's say. You know, it doesn't take long for a big designer to find the design of a smaller designer, looking at you, LV, and take it on and make it their own, and then that surpasses and overwhelms the original designer, just like there are all the more affordable designer brands or non-designer brands, high street brands, boutique brands, fast fashion brands that will copy the designs of the haute couture or the higher end brands. That goes with clothing, that goes with accessories, that goes with anything and everything. It's open slather for everyone. It's even in makeup, for example. For example, even just in the makeup world, recently there has been a copy of a highlighter, and forgive me, I've forgotten the name of the actual brand, I'll write it on the screen, who actually copied the concept of applying a blush a certain way, which was the idea of a UK-based makeup artist. And yet he's gone ahead, he's marketed it, he's produced the product, and he's labeled it as what it is. And oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank as I'm speaking right now, but it's a particular way of applying blush, a particular style, type of blush that goes on top of another. It's like a highlighter blush type, Patrick Tar. And so he actually copied the original makeup artist from England, and he's under a lot of fire. A lot of followers are giving him a bad rap and so on. Same thing happens in clothing, same thing happens in handbags and accessories. But that doesn't mean that I'm bored by luxury. I love watching people unbox something unique and different. That's why channels like, you know, Meredith's channel, Dale's channel, so many others, even from overseas, who have wonderful, wonderful collections, because they're just that little bit different. Yes, they have a lot of the classics and probably repeated pieces of the classics, but there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with a luxury house repeating their designs. I mean, in the end, it's all a business. And if Louis knows that the Speedy is the way to go, because obviously Pharrell Williams has determined that, and he's taken the Speedy and he's just conceptualized it differently, and he's given it a new lease on life. You've got the inside out Speedy, you know, the latest ones that you can turn inside out, the beautiful P9s. And I've touched a P9 and I get it. I know why people say, wow, once you touch it, it's hard. It's almost like you're addicted to it. It's hard to let go and you just need to have it. It's almost like a siren call, you know? And like the beautiful beaded ones that have been on the men's runway. You know, now LV is going to be potentially under fire, because that beaded one with all the little glass beads all over it, pardon my voice, and I'll have images here, apparently another designer had already come out with that particular concept. I was in David Jones and had come out with it prior to LV's runway. So what's going on here? I was in David Jones, which is an Australian department store here in Australia, and I think it was about last week, and I was working through the handbag department, and at David Jones they used to have a much more elevated collection of handbag and designer brands, but David Jones seems to have become a little bit whitewashed over the years. Anyway, I walked past the Kurt Geiger section, and they had a beautiful Kensington bag with, you know, the traditional Kensington style. It was a little bit smaller. I haven't taken photos, but if I find photos online, I'll put them here. And it was all velvet, multicolored, and it had all these beautiful glass beads hanging off it. And I thought, oh, hello, Louis. You know, so it makes you wonder, I mean, who had the original idea? But as much as I'm not going to make this video about, you know, intellectual property and all that type of thing, I don't find luxury boring at all. And I don't have a problem with people unboxing a lot of the same thing, or YouTubers sort of getting onto the latest bag style or bag color and unboxing it. I love it. I think it's interesting, and a lot of it is because I kind of want to live vicariously through them. I have been doing a lot of shopping this past year and a half, and in this past year, since about September last year onwards, I have been buying a lot, but financially I now find myself in a position where I can. I am using shopping as a little bit of a crutch, but I'm also using it as a bit of a reward to myself. Because like I've said in many of my videos, and I know a lot of people say I don't have to justify myself, I don't have to explain anything. I often will say I work so hard because I do want to buy myself these pretty things. You know, I work hours and hours and hours in my own job. And if you know, I'm a teacher, secondary school teacher. And I also work hours and hours tutoring after my day job, so to speak. But the tutoring, I don't need it, but I want to do that so that I can buy myself these things, so that I can spend, you know, $800 on this bag, you know, all different prices on all different bags, so that I can do it and I don't feel so guilty whereby I'm thinking that I'm eating into my savings, and I'm not. Savings are very healthy. And instead of maybe replacing my curtains, I'm buying a bag. You know, I have the two frames of mind happening there concurrently. So I love seeing that others can buy a beautiful new piece just off the runway. I love that it's Coach. I love that it's, you know, Marc Jacobs. I love that it's even just Target. I love that it's the higher brands. I think in the end, we all want to be a little bit and want to join that sort of that group. I'm not going to call it the cool group or anything like that. Just be part of a community where we like the same things, which is much like what this YouTube community is about. Gosh, I hope I'm making sense, because this is all ad-lib, this is all unplanned. But I thought to myself, you know, I don't often come on and just do chatty videos. I just wanted to give my 2 bobs worth. So I like to celebrate luxury in all its forms, whether it's makeup, whether it's perfume, whether it's footwear, whether it's accessories, handbags especially, in all those ways, because I find it enjoyable. For me, this is my outlet. Me starting this channel, and that will be another video coming up, was a type of outlet for me, was a type of release for me. And so knowing that I work really hard because I can, thank God, praise God, I still can work. So I do have my savings in place in case of anything going awry, but at the same time, I do have that extra butter to put on my bread, so to speak, that I can buy these pretty things. And then sometimes, you know, it's interesting, right? I see videos where people will post things like, oh, I'm not buying luxury anymore because, you know, I'm bored with luxury, obviously. Luxury is not the same. I'm selling all my luxury collection. Luxury, it's starting to take on a negative connotation. And I don't think it needs to be negative in that way. If we want to buy these things and all the other financial responsibilities are in place and nothing is left wanting, then let's do it. I'm not bored by it. I enjoy seeing what people unbox. Sometimes I don't watch the whole video. Sometimes I don't listen to the whole spiel. I will scroll across, see what it is, and if it interests me, then I'll replay it. Sometimes I sit and I watch the whole thing. Often I will have videos playing in the background while I'm doing something else. So I don't always watch, but I'm hearing, I'm listening. And because I'm trying to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, I don't always get around to commenting. You know, in terms of views, for example, Winnie made a comment about how even when she does do luxury unboxings, I think because so many people have become jaded by the world of luxury, and I get why, I get it, her views haven't been as high. Well, look, I've never received those really, really high views. That's just not my channel, and that's okay, because I didn't start this channel to become the next Mr. Beast. That's not going to happen, and that's okay with me. So if I can get anywhere in the 400 or 500 views, I'm over the moon happy about that. But often my views will be well under that. It's only sometimes that I will get the really high views. So my epic Coach haul video from a couple of weeks ago, I think I'm over 1,000 views for that. Now for me, that's like 1 million views, you know what I mean? So for me, that is a lot of views. So if I do some sort of a luxury related, and Coach these days is almost luxury, so you know, if I do something like that, those views will be higher than this one, for example, or maybe a tag video, for example, or maybe me just getting on and, I don't know, guest bagging about something else. You know what I mean? So for me, unboxing can work in my favor, but I don't buy to do unboxing videos because there is no money in it. Let me tell you, I've only just recently become monetized, and I still haven't received my first, you know, paycheck, so to speak. And even then, it's only just on $100. So it costs me more to buy something, to do an unboxing, to earn 50 cents. You know what I mean? So, you know, I enjoy luxury. I think it's a fun way for me to feel like I can reward myself and to feel like I'm with a group of people who love and enjoy these things, and we are blessed to be able to afford these things, because you can love and want them and covet them but not be able to afford them. I mean, you know, there is that difference very clearly, because, you know, first world problems here. Now, in terms of feeling like luxury is overpriced, it always has been. Looking back now, say on the gradual increase in the prices of some of Louis Vuitton's little pieces. Like I remember the pochette accessoire here in Australia used to be under $1,000. It's now like just on two, if not more, if I'm not mistaken. The mini pochette, it's ridiculous. The mini pochette is just like a little pouch, and it's well over $1,000 here in Australia. I understand currency conversion, you know, taxes and all that. I get all that, but it is ridiculous. But pricing of luxury has always been ridiculous. Years ago, now looking back, knowing what we earn now, for example, and some of the increases that we may have received through work or other means, enables us to look back and make that comparison and say, oh, wow, I remember buying the mini pochette for $360 in 2015. And that's true. 10 years later, it's triple the price, quadruple the price. But back then, $360 felt like $1,000 and whatever it is now. You know what I'm saying? So it's all relative. Luxury has always been overpriced. And in terms of quality, yes, agreed. That quality is just not always there. So for me, I'm happy to buy an inspired version. I won't buy an REPLICA, but I will buy an inspired version. I actually have one on the way coming to me. What else can I tell you? And the thing is that these luxury brands, they deliberately overprice their pieces because they do want to have a certain clientele buying these things, because they are elitist and they are snobs, and we get it. But that doesn't mean I have to like it less. Now, you know, I mentioned Dale earlier, and she had unboxed her new Chanel, which looks like it's all, you know, warped of it. I looked at that and I thought, well, that's interesting. I would never buy that. I don't like that. But I still had a chance to see it up close. So that, for me, is definitely not boring. It was interesting to listen to the story behind it, to see how she came to have it, the trials and tribulations involved in securing these hard to find pieces, for example, or very limited pieces. So it's one way of me getting to see some of these gorgeous pieces up close to some extent, you know, if they put them up close to the camera, to see them, because I'm not going to go in to look for it. I'm not going to ask about it, but if I can see it on camera and get an idea, I'm happy with that. You know what I mean? It's like when I watch vlogs. If I'm going to watch a vlog, it's got to be something purposeful. It's got to be something interesting, like a vlog of you know, another city in the world, or a vlog of a day in the life of someone learning to do something, or a vlog about, I don't know, something happening in outer space or something like that. You'd be amazed at some of the stuff that I watch. I don't only ever watch bad content. So, you know, I find luxury interesting in that way. I think I've babbled on long enough. Got my notes here. I've more or less addressed what I wanted to say. So I am not bored by luxury. I still enjoy luxury. I can't always afford it, and I have to actually stop myself. And I don't have that urgency and that desire to spend thousands of dollars on a piece again. The only one two that I might allow myself to spend a little bit more on are the Louis Vuitton Speedy 20, because look, as much as people say Louis Vuitton is entry-level luxury, I find that hard to believe, and I find that somewhat patronizing to say that? Are you so elevated that Louis Vuitton is so beneath you? I can't stand that attitude. But anyway, to each their own. And the other piece is the petite malle, because I have always loved the petite malle. I just, useless. It doesn't hold much, doesn't do much, but I still would really like to have that piece. So there you go. They're probably the only two pieces that I will allow myself to spend in the thousands again. So anything else these days, anything under $1,000 is like fair game. Anyway, I think I've babbled on long enough. Thank you for listening. Let me know what your thoughts are. I hope I was making sense in what I was saying. I was just like, you know, fleshing out these ideas that were popping into my head and some of my notes that I'd written in my diary there. So I'm very curious to hear what you think. Let's have a chat about it. I love engaging with you in the comments. And as always, take care, everybody. God bless, and I'll see you next time. Ciao.